Now I can see all you lovely jubbly peoples, except now I have completely lost the previous stream. So we are going to delete that one and then start this process over again. Welcome back, everybody, to those of you who are returning to the live stream. Don't know why everything was all cattywampus before. We have fixed the problem. Alright, there we go. Everything is good. I can see that Delaran says nice. South Reaper Warlord said hello, Jake. We are cooking with peanut oil. We are getting everything that we need to get set up here. Hopefully this chatbot auto updates here below my face. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There's my cat who's going to peacefully knock over all of my keyboards and everything on there. So we're just going to quickly move that to the side. Hello, Kennerith. And hopefully I said that correctly. But there we go. That even popped up in the chat correctly. So I think we should be good to go. As long as you guys don't tell me my audio sounds like hot garbage. Because I'm always scared coming back. Because one time I went to record a video. There's a knob on here that's for reverb. And reverb basically adds like an echo. Generally you don't want echoes. And had to re-record a whole video. And the other funny time is I accidentally recorded dinosaur noises. Because you guys might see in the background here, the Elder Scrolls Online is pulled up. But one time, I had my TV turned off, the screen off, but I had Ark Survival Evolved loaded, so you guys heard a bunch of dinosaur noises because it was still pulling the audio to the computer of dinosaurs. And this might sound crazy, but generally, people don't want to listen to dinosaur noises like pterodactyls and stuff when you're recording an Ark video, which I thought was crazy, but that was the consensus of the comments, was that Jake, dinosaurs inside of your YouTube videos is not really goes with the whole Elder Scrolls Online vibe. But obviously we're back from Amsterdam and excited to talk to you guys, talk about some different things. We can talk about anything you guys want to talk about. I'm a little sad that we had more viewers on the broken stream and I had to switch everything over, so hopefully everyone will trickle back over again. But excited to talk to you guys again. It's been a while since I've live streamed, so curious how you guys are doing. If you guys have questions, obviously I was able to ask the developers a whole bunch of different things, and you know, there's a lot of nitty-gritty questions and things that we can talk about, or you can ask me anything. But the consensus of the stream, though, is going to be me giving away most of my Elder Scrolls Online gold. So if there's those of you who need ESO gold, it's a great time to ask if you play on Xbox and A, because I was thinking to myself one day, you can see my daily rewards is terrible because I was at the ESO event. I was thinking to myself, what better thing to do on stream than to give away the money that we are earning, and then we can actually test out gold methods from basically start to finish on stream. So it's one thing to tell somebody, go look at the market, figure out what's missing, and you know, all these other things, and I'll do that here in a second, combat. It's another thing to say, here, from start to finish, I do this, I do this, and I do this. Take a look here. Gee, for some reason it's not saying I have any Discord messages. Oh, there it is. I do like that. Not sure if I'm really an elf person, you know, of all the people, you know, to do. But I do like that theme a lot. That's a really good one. Thank you, Swift. And Jeremiah, you know, head on over, you know. I'm in, where am I at? Stonefalls right now. See, my ability to remember where I am just looking at a single way shrine. Impeccable. You could say it's because there's a giant volcano in the background, but these zones have volcanoes, you know? Quite a few still. Like GeoGuessr. Maybe that would be a fun experience one day is ESO GeoGuessr, where I take 50 images on the game and then go from there. That image does look really, really nice. I'm looking at it here. How are all you beautiful people doing? Besides those of you who want ESO gold. Where's the cat? She's right here. It's actually sitting right in front of the screen, making it very hard to see. Come here. You raise your head and you see her ears a little bit. It's following my hand. You see the ear in the bottom right corner. She's literally just gonna sit. The problem is when I'm looking at something, she wants to look at it, and it's right dead center in the screen. So I see on one side I have Isabel out in a tree. On another side I have a way shrine. That's about all I've seen. I've been on ESO for like 6 months. Anything noteworthy changed? Love your content. So the biggest changes are going to be in the new scribing system, which is upcoming. I was able to play test the scribing system, so I'll be able to give details on that, how that's going to work. If you guys have questions about that, I think that's really the biggest change because that affects every class differently. It affects everybody once that system is implemented here when Gold Road comes out. And doing daily crafting writs on 20 characters is probably the best thing that you can do. And you got Etheric cipher, and that's definitely the best thing that you can do it on. That was a bit of a weird time to like try to earn ESO gold because you literally have the chance to get some of the most valuable items in the game just by doing any daily content. I mean, this is literally the best event for grinding when it comes to getting event boxes. Now, if you're looking for the replicas, like Ken's saying, probably a more tricky time for you just because you're competing, especially if you're fishing. You know, you're going to be competing against everybody and their mom who also is fishing, trying to get these things. The drop rate seemed to be that people have been saying 1 to 3%. So if you fish 100 times, you'll probably get one. So I think that's a decent enough percentage to get some of them. And the other ones, it just depends on how many other people are doing them at the time. Come on, cat. Let's see if I get her a treat. If that could get her to not sit on top of my screen. Hang on. Hey, you want a treat? Yeah, 3 days left. So I'd take advantage. I mean, I think it's 3 days left, right? Or am I crazy? Or did they extend it? Or does something... I think it's longer than I'm giving it credit for. Hang on. I'm sorry. It's 2 days left if you want to buy some of this random mumbo jumbo in here. If you want to get... I gotta, like, peek over because my cat's blocking the thing. Event Quest the cake. So you got 14 days left. I did not post the Golden Vendor because, fun fact, the Golden Vendor releases at, like, 5 a.m. Amsterdam time. And then I went to the ESO celebration event, and then a lot of people afterwards were like, let's go do all these, because it was our last night there, so then everyone went out to do stuff, so I missed a Golden Vendor video. I'm terribly sorry. I don't know how I will make it up to all of you, but I can give my cat a treat if that makes it up to some of you. So let me give her a treat real quick. Okay, come on. You want a treat? Come on. Not moving. 2. Back too long. There we go. All right. She's distracted, and I have her laser pointer in case we need to get her to move from the screen again. I can get her to run and do some laps. That's usually my tactics when I record YouTube videos. If you've ever seen my hand go like this on a YouTube video, I'm either doing one of two things. I'm either petting my cat to try to keep her distracted, or I'm using the laser pointer to get her to start doing running laps. Because what she'll do is she'll jump onto the recording station, and sometimes she'll knock the mic over. And if you're like trying to be focused on like, oh my gosh, all these things, you don't want to have to re-record because your cat jumped on and knocked your mic over. And why did you went to Quebec for? What do you read? I didn't go to Quebec. It was in the celebration event was in Amsterdam, if that's what you're referring to. How's it going today, Soul Reaper asked? It's going pretty good, I went back to work today. I probably should have taken today off because as soon as we got back yesterday, I had all these dreams like I'm gonna get on stream, I'm gonna do all these things. None of that happened. I literally laid down in bed after feeding my cat, and then I collapsed and fell asleep. And it was exhausting. The problem that I run into is it's like I'm fairly tall, and I thought that I wanted a window seat in the plane. And the problem I run into is so I'll like lean back and then I'll fall asleep, but then I'll like lean into the aisle, and then some dude will bump into me, and I'll wake up, and then it's like, well, not asleep anymore. Some dude bumped into me, and that kind of ruins the whole sleeping vibe quite a bit. For cake's sake, of 14 days. So if you're ever curious how long an ESO event quest has left, you can see it in the Crown Store for free, even if you picked it up. Like, because you'll always see stuff even if you have it. It's like, for example, I'm a sucker for Daedric artifacts. That's pretty much everything I use my monthly crowns on. So you can see, even though that I purchased it, I can still see it. So even if you've done this quest starter, you'll still see it here in the Crown Store. Not that I'm advocating for anyone to buy stuff from the Crown Store. Please don't kill me. I'm excited. I was able to talk to developers, got tons of questions. I'm going to take my character to a more notable area. So if you guys have, like, you guys want to come by and grab some gold, I can do that. Shut up, Travis. The funny thing is so I was with the Tank Club, who's also 6'5" on the ESO event. We were standing there talking to each other. I didn't realize how tall he was. I didn't realize how tall I was, so it's kind of funny. Great dude, by the way, the Tank Club. We were talking, and so the live streamers had name tags, and the YouTubers had name tags, and it had who they were on there, and it was TC Lee, and I was like, man, that sounds so familiar. How do I know who TC Lee is? And then it's Tank Club Lee, so they will talk to the guy who makes the best tank content, in my opinion, on ESO at the event, so that was awesome. I was able to talk to Deltia, Skinny Cheeks, fairly well at length too. Very cool guys. Most of the ESO community is very opening and welcoming. So I am in Daggerfall. So if you guys want, get things going, you want a little bit of money, no pressure. You're more than welcome to have some. My other plan too is to look for players who are asking for things like taxis to places, just giving them some gold too, because obviously, it's not really going for broke if you've still got, 9.5 million gold on your character. And I'm going to pay my dues now as well in the Daggerfall bank. But I figure if I make my character broke, then it can be a good example of like, well, if you've got dues coming up, you need to pay some bills. What are some things that you're going to do to make some money? So that's kind of the plan for some stuff that I want to stream to you guys. Other things too I want to kind of continue to is the ESO. Can you beat ESO without attacking? I thought that was a pretty cool concept. I want to keep that going. Because that past live stream actually did pretty well. So I'm going to put some of the gold here. I want to give my actual guild 1 million gold just to have it. And then I want to pay my dues that I still have left over. I don't actually remember how much I owe in this one. we'll do 40 because I think I might be behind because I don't remember if I did it on Tuesday or not. Ashes 20. This one is 15. Go. So there is that. If you guys want to come stop me, you can put it in zone chat too. If you want to get a hold of me, if you guys have new characters, or if you want a little bit of help with some ESO financials, just let me know and I'll be able to help you out. There's Ken right there. Also apologize if I'm lowering your name. I've been looking for you. So I'm right here inside of Daggerfall, inside of Glenumbra. We could technically go into different instances. I probably should have picked somewhere more niche, like, I don't know, Western Skyrim, out in the boondocks, somewhere crazy, but a little bit more centralized. I was following you around. Yeah, I never know quite where I'm going or quite where I've been. I know my cat is chewing on her food box. Because she knows that I hate it when she does that. Also, for those of you who are worried, my parents did stop over and watch my cat while I was away. So, still fairly entertained throughout the entirety of me being at the ESO celebration event. That there's probably some people who are worried. Don't worry. That's what I think about first when these things come up, when these offers come up. I think I was thinking too about putting on stream was some music at some point too, but I did not know do that safely with all the copyrighted music these days. Did not want to spur any controversy. Meet at Happy Healthy Horses in Daggerfall. Meet you there. Is that this one or is that a different one? Oh, that's that one. You've been to the bank before, Jeremy? Alright, is this right? Is it a state? No, it's over here. Wait. Oh, it's like shoehorned into this area. You over here? Maybe in a different instance. Oh yeah, it was goodly. I would say it's definitely very different than America. For example, so we took a train downtown, right? So we take a train downtown, meet a few content creators, 2 other dudes. We go downtown, check out some things. This is late at night, we're walking back, trying to get the full Amsterdam experience, because like the ESO event ends at like 7. So by the time that we get back to the hotel, it's like 7:30. So then we eat, and then it's like 9 o'clock, and then it's like, all this time has gone by, and apparently at 1 a.m. their train system of public transit just stops. So from there, it's like, well, wait a minute, what happens now? So we go to this train station. It's 1 a.m. and from there, this guard is like, our thing's not working. We bought a 24-hour ticket. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. And he goes over there, just like randomly. Thank you, by the way, for that. And we're like, over there what? And then all these other people are like leaving the train, like looking and disappointed and whatnot. So we then go to this other place. We like follow these people. There's a whole new train station you have to use from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. to get back to this freaking hotel room. So it was like the most cattywampus public transit system I've ever seen in my life. A gondola would probably have been more efficient in getting back than that. I appreciate for this, by the way. I'll be sure to give these on to people who can find me. I should go to somewhere more niche where there's not a thingy-mabob. You're also ruining the vibe of the stream. I'm supposed to be giving away my goal, not getting recipes from people on stream. I was also thinking about setting up a consistent stream schedule. That way we can drop in and out, So this week is a little bit busy for me just because coming back, trying to get caught up on work and stuff. But I was thinking about setting up like a consistent time, either from like 6 to 8 or from 8 to 10. I don't know if that would be good time framing for you guys. That would be Eastern Standard Time. My cat's back. I don't know if you can see your head. Lift your head. Oh, she's smelling my other hand. Lift on my other hand then. Uber? There you are. Now the people can see you. Thank you for watching, Ego. Yeah, I got the laser pointer, so this is how you get her to go. Oh, look at me. Look at the... There you go. I'll keep that going on my other hand just to keep her entertained. I don't want to tease, playing and then not actually play. So I'll just keep that going with my left hand over here. You might hear cat rumblings off to the side. I was watching Nephis stream. It was great to see another country's culture. Yeah, it was cool. I was in Nephis' stream like twice for like 30 seconds. Neither time I realized that I was in the stream. It was actually you guys telling me that I was in the stream in Discord. The one time it was like me passing around getting drinks the first night, and I was so ungodly tired. But I was hungry, so I was like, let me go see what's down there. So what happened is we all flew in on Tuesday, but then Tuesday became Wednesday because of the time zone differences and flying. We come in on Wednesday, and they have drinks and food and stuff to celebrate us being there, but most of us just flew in. We were ungodly tired. And because of that, and nobody had name tags at this point too, so it's like all these ESO people, Bethesda people from all over the world who are speaking in all these different languages. You get the French team, the Dutch team, you've got Norwegian stream team members, all sorts of people there. But like nobody's labeled. I didn't really recognize a whole lot of people because the only people who were really there were the European people because they weren't as tired. Because like when Deltia got there, he went to sleep. Skinny Cheeks, I think, went to sleep immediately. Nephis was there, and then I was there for like 20 minutes, and then got some food, and then went upstairs and fell asleep. Yeah, I got you, Ego. Where are you? I should say you'd have to play me in a Tales of Tribute game. That would really spice up the stream, wouldn't it? Anyone that beats me in a Tales of Tributes game gets all the marbles. Well, I wasn't going to go quite that crazy for each individual. There you are. Hopefully that can get you some good stuff off the street, get you the skooma that you need, maybe buy you a house. I don't know. If people have like specific things that they're trying to buy, I'm obviously can help with that too. I don't think I have that many crowns. I only have 1,700 crowns, so I can't give anything super crazy from the crown store, but try to help out the best I can. Yeah, no problem, Ego. And but yeah, so then the other time I was on stream, I was on the bus. Apparently I was just like this, like in the front of the bus, and he walks in and he's streaming the front of the bus. So I'm just there, exceptionally tired, laid back, and people see my face on stream as just like, oh, I'm so exhausted. And those are my two impressions, in the background and then exceptionally tired. So my impressions to people on stream were not the greatest, and I never was super interested in trying to, because they offered like if people want to stream the event while they're there, like, hey, do you want to go live and stream to everybody? People were just mostly like, no. Not really, not particularly, but they did offer it to people, and thought that was interesting. So I'm like, if any of you watched those streams, like, could you hear anybody? Because it was a pretty loud event. It's not like it was quiet. It was very much like, cheering, clapping, very much excitable people. So for me, it didn't seem like one of those things where I'm like, oh yeah, let me, talk in my cool, calm, collected voice, and people will be able to definitely understand the words that I'm saying. But I don't know. Maybe you guys were able to hear a little bit better. I mean, maybe the noise gates were really good in their streaming setups. And obviously, feel free to head on over here and trade me if you want. If you actually want gold, you can send me a trade. And I also got a bunch of really cool duplicate recipes as well from one of you guys from Kennerith. I could give out some of these too if you guys need some of these bad boys for your collection and whatnot. I'm also still just trying to keep my cat distracted with this laser pointer. Whenever the laser pointer turns off, she tries to jump back onto the table. I just don't want her to knock my microphone over again. Because if the microphone is one of those things that once you set up, you just never want to touch it ever again. You never want to have to edit or change or do anything with it ever again. What I really should do is actually set up a second web camera and then just have it pointed at the floor. So that way you guys can watch as I play with this laser pointer. And there's another one. I don't know why I keep fat fingering that. Well, I'm going to try to make it even and uniform. So there you are. Hopefully that will give you a nice little goose egg for you. Get you some nice crown crates or something. Wait, did I cancel that? Is it trade canceled? No, what? Did it go through? Yeah, it looks like it did. Oh, why it said trade canceled. Hopefully that'll get you guys something good. Any questions or things that I can answer for you? Specific stuff? I have no problem, obviously, talking about anything. If you're interested, any interactions, questions, panels, I got to talk to developers and ask all sorts of questions. Some of them more riveting than others, but everyone's always interested in different stuff. So if you guys have questions and things that you want to know about specifics, tell you anything you want to know. All the juicy secrets, the behind the scenes, the who are they really like how they are on stream. You know, kitty cam would be awesome. I knew you guys would fall in love with that idea. Actually, honestly, it sounds far-fetched, but I do have an extra webcam. I could probably figure out how to set it up one day. Then just like turn it on every so often and you can watch her like sprint. Man, she like when you turn it really fast on the hardwood, she like drifts. She's like a car drifting. Anything new on scribing? So scribing is going to be the system I think that makes ESO interesting for years to come. I thought that scrying was going to be that system, and I think it definitely is because I think that mythics are awesome. You know, I think that they were a cool addition to the game. I think conceptually amazing. But scribing is also going to be that system. Yeah, if you want some gold, just send me a trade request. If you have a specific number too, just let me know. I don't mind giving away like more than 500k. Oh shoot, what was I just saying? I got distracted with the laser pointer and the question about guild gold. Oh, so scrying I thought was going to be that system because it was one of those things for a while, you know, like, look, oh, I just canceled the trade. I'm so sorry. Give me 2 seconds. Like, the guild lines. Dark Brotherhood, Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, Sigic Order, Thieves Guild, Undaunted. Like, these things don't do shit anymore. Like, you either have them, you don't. Are they really that useful? Some of them are. Some of them aren't. I don't know why my haggling isn't fully leveled. That makes me feel really goofy. You know, and then when they added scrying, that was kind of like oh, this is going to be a system that gets updated every single year. This is awesome. Scribing is also going to be a system that gets updated every single year. She'll give you a million. Scribing is going to be that system. The reason is because it tweaks existing skills, basically. So, like, they picked, I think, 22 skill lines, or 22 things that you can tweak, and bada bing, bada boom, you know, then you're able to actually create this really interesting mechanic. Why it's so interesting is kind of twofold. One is it's a way to buff and nerf classes' specific stuff. What I mean by that is each class has their own specific scribe that they can add to it. So they have their own little flavor that they can add to these skills that like Templars can and these other classes can't. So it's already built in to be kind of like a, you know, class-specific information and being able to kind of tweak them as necessary. And I suspect that this will be implemented to class-specific skills soon, too. And then when that happens, you know, obviously it's only going to be class-specific then at that point. So it adds a new way to balance classes together. It also adds the ability to do really unique things. Turn things that aren't taunts into taunts. Turn things that do flame damage into lightning damage or into frost damage. That might sound like not super important, but like think about how many flame builds there are that could actually now do flame damage on new attacks that didn't do flame damage. Because yes, you know, when you think about conceptually like, oh, this thing normally does lightning damage, now it's like, you know, this fire damage, you might think that's not a huge difference, but you know, today's day and age, I mean, that's it can be a big difference. Think about all the sets that synergize, the classes that synergize with different types of damage. Now you're really getting somewhere. I also don't know if you meant in total or in one go. You don't have to give me stuff, Eco, but thank you. Yeah, don't worry. You get the off-the-cuff experience. A crafty. You don't have to give me your crafty Alpeak Inferno stat. You can keep that if you would like. I'll take it. The more important questions: how many new Tales of Tribute decks are going to be added? I mean, I sat down to the panel. Here's my one question to ask: when are we going to get 10 more Tales of Tribute decks? And no problem, Ego. So that was the general vibe of Scribing. That's where I think that it'll be really unique to see how it goes in the future. That's why I love things like that. Like, yes, it's cool when they add things like the Dark Brotherhood and stuff, but Scribing is just going to be so much better. So what am I most excited for? I would say the most exciting thing is going to be that Scribing system, like hands down. I think it just adds too much flavor for it not to be the coolest thing. I mean, obviously they're adding the new animations and being able to make things look different and not. That's all cool too, but this is going to be pretty intense. How do I get into your instance? I think if you talk in zone chat, I think it will still pop up, so I think I can probably grab you if you talk in zone chat. More puns win. I don't know how many... Depends on whenever I record a video. I mean, there will be a video tomorrow. That's the Tuesday vendor. We'll have a Gold Road specific video. I'm thinking... Actually, let me ask you guys this. What do you think is the best Gold Road specific video? I was thinking like a top 5 ways to prepare... top 5, you know, things to know about, you know, Gold Road. If you're starting out in Gold Road, do these things, you know, like what video topic interests you about Gold Road the most? Because I could do a dedicated video to Scribing. I could do a dedicated video on just things to know. I do try to make my content not super long. Some people would disagree with that, but like, I'll pull up my YouTube videos right now because I have them up on my other screen. Like, we've got 15 minutes, 28 minutes. We're not off to a great start. 14, 10, 12, 10, 10, 12, 10, 10, 9, 8, 6, 21, 6, 6, 15, 8, 11, 6, 19. So, like, generally I like to keep my videos a little bit shorter. But some people, you know, think that the pun's in there just to add length. Fun fact, pretty much anything between, I'd say like 8 minutes, 25 minutes is going to be about the same when it comes to the YouTube gods. So if you see me rant from 8 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, that's all love for all of you. That is not, there's no like, well, you know, if I just go on this long tangent, you know, it's an extra advertiser break that I see. I didn't click the pointer for long enough and she comes back. What are you doing? With the laser pointer? Yeah, there you go. There you go. So I have one prep video and I have one things to do before Gold Road. You guys think that that's mostly the same? Like, do you think just condensing that kind of into one would be helpful? Like, I guess that's kind of the same, like prep, things to do, stuff like that. These are the hard things I have to think about as a content creator. That's why I like the Tuesday and the Friday vendor. because it's so simple. Which actually I need to go do is actually go to the gold vendor or the Tuesday vendor, because it could actually be decent, and I totally missed it. Because the annoying thing is like, so a lot of people will post on Facebook like, here's what's in the Friday vendor, and I looked at it and made some comments on it, posted some things about it, because I wasn't able to make a video. But like, these vendors, it's like the Wild West and the Infinite Archive, and this is a free to play zone, mind you. So like, this is the the place to be, in my opinion, because Golden Vendor's great, but there's some annoying leads that exist in this game, and I would not wish upon anyone to do them. And thank you. That's supposed to be like Bosco, because of is that supposed to be like an I3 or is Koi 13? But it was a great event. I was glad to see you guys there too. So this is. What are these two? Chimera hairbrush. Do some research here. Hold on, everybody. Let's see what the experts say here. Chimera hairbrush ESO. That is for something I don't have. Collectible black or bark root blood. Oh, it's for a skin. Okay. And I have this, so it's from the Endling boss in the Grove Chimera. Oh, so it's world boss. That's, you gotta worry about that one. That one's nothing good. Lead Pad C Shark Teeth. Let's see if this one's. First thing that comes up: does the Pad C Shark lead even exist? This is for. Oh, it's for Gaze. Why does it say that I not unearthed this? I have the Gaze Sithis. I wear it. This I feel like was in very recently. Didn't we just talk about this? I feel like we just talked about this specific one. I just looked it up too, and it's like the Gaze Sithis. This is one that's worth buying, in my opinion, sometimes. But the thing is, so it comes from drops inside the Onakbar Quaba Mine Delve. And so, for those of you who don't know the lore, it's just one of the best places to farm Scrib Jelly, which means that you might have competition for other people trying to farm stuff in there at the same time. Like, you might be trying to, like, farm, Scrib Jelly, and then some other dude's trying to farm the lead. Hi, Susie. Have a good night. And Orchard Faye here, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. And so the rest of this stuff, I mean, this is probably worth like 200,000 gold. And remember, you can't resell this. This is bound. So it's always a bit weird to explain this conceptually because not a lot of MMOs do this. But if you buy this, you're only getting the value of it if you would be wearing it. It's only valuable because you're putting it in your sticker book and having to pay with this currency. This is Rothgar treasure maps, which it's actually pretty good. So for those of you who don't know the lore, I'll give you the quick rundown here. So if you can spot here, this is a certified Jake Clips ESO gold making teaching moment here. All right, what is the difference between this zone and this zone? You get a cookie if you get it right. What's the difference between Rothgar and all of these other zones right here? Full credit if you can tell me the difference. Go. Don't everyone speak at once. No pressure. But you're on a timer. Even though there's a stream delay. So I have to give you time anyway. Then you gotta type it out. So that's gonna take you a little time also. What is the difference between Bankarai, Rothgar, and why does that lead to treasure maps being somewhat relevant for you to purchase from the Infinite Archive vendor if you wanted to make some gold? No pressure. Winner gets a cookie. And if you don't know this, probably means I should make a dedicated video on it, or at some point just kind of breaking down treasure maps a wee bit more. Orchard Faye gives a heart. It's not a heart, but we're moving in the right direction. You guys can, if you don't know the answer and you wait for someone to spout it out, you can see my cat here. What you doing? What was the question? The question is what is the big difference between Bankerai and Rothgar that makes Rothgar treasure maps better than Bankerai treasure maps? Imagine for a second that they have the exact same sets. Let's pretend in this hypothetical that Bankerai and Rothgar, same exact sets. DLC zone? Nope, not the DLC zone. So if you notice, so this is the Bankerai map. Take a good look. A good look, everybody. And now let's look at the Rothgar map. What is different? What is different? This is how you get in the mind of a gold maker. Motifs sell for more. Good guess. You're on somewhat of the right track, but you keep thinking. We're getting somewhere. Not DLC. It's not because of the gear sets. Imagine that the gear sets are totally the same. Imagine that it's the exact same gear sets. Leads? Close. And the leads are definitely something to consider, but there's a big, huge difference between these two sets, or between these two zones. Snow, that is true. That is. We are naming things that are definitely factual. In fact, I will give you another clue. You see where it says map completion? What's not there? What does not exist in the map completion section that exists? Just joined, missed the question. No pressure. Eric, since you're just joining, you'll be responsible for answering correctly. What's the difference between Rothgar and Bankerai? What makes these zones so different? What's the big difference? You know, it's a simple question, really. What separates these two bad boys? I really half of everybody's waiting on the edge of their seat, just wondering, what is the difference? If you guys give up, I will tell you. Don't worry, you will hear the answer at some point. Furniture plans, not furniture plans, but the answer Jeremiah and Eric both get at the same time. World events. For those of you who do not know, Elder Scrolls Online was being invaded by Molag Bal. He dropped these little things called anchors, dolmens, blah, blah, blah. The fun thing is when you kill the dolmens, you get jewelry. Not everyone's getting it. No dolmens. Yeah, there we go. So the problem is that dolmens were the way that we got jewelry. So essentially, our whole way that we would get jewelry was by farming these dolmens. See, Jeremiah, he follows, or he knows, because he either watches the videos or he knows. And no dolmens equal no jewelry. Not necessarily. I'll give you the brief rundown on that in a minute. So basically, what people used to do is they would farm this area for chests constantly. Jewelry here generally sells for a decent bit of money because it was so painful to farm. And they also made this mistake in Vardenfell, but then they thought to themselves, people probably want this thing called jewelry. So then when they released Somerset, they're like, hey, why don't we release some geysers? And then when they released, elsewhere, they were like, what people want to kill is dragons. So that's the new way to get jewelry. But there was no way of retroactively easily getting jewelry from any of the old zones, such as Rothgar. So Rothgar is actually better than I would say people get credit for. But overall, is it something that I would invest in if you were trying to convert your archival fortunes? It's hard to say. I actually lean towards yes, and this is the stuff that I think about when I'm like getting ready to record a video. So here's why I would say no, and then here's why I would say yes. So I would say no, not worth it, because yes, the sets there are decent, but there's really no crazy leads that you're going to get that are going to be worth a lot of money. The motifs are really not anything crazy. You're not going to re-rolling for any furnishing plans, really. So, is it really that worth it? But then we got to rewind a bit here and think, well, Q4 of this year is going to be a PvP update, and some of the best PvP sets are from the zone, and sets like Pariah could potentially become extremely valuable. So if I were to stock up on sets from Rothgar ahead of time, perhaps I could sell them throughout the year and make a decent bit of money. Is there a wrong answer to that? Probably not, because yes, the set has been out for a while. Yes, quite a few people do have it. But ESO, I think from the numbers, gained like between 2 and 4 million players this last year. So there's 2 to 4 million brand new players. And these brand new players, they don't got Pariah. They don't got none of that stuff. And what's going to happen is everyone's going to come to the game, play, Q4, the PvP update, be a decent chunk of people doing it. And then from there, they're then going to buy sets such as Pariah. They could buy it from you and then make a little bit of money. That's kind of how the economy goes around. When it comes to light armor, though, not a huge fan of light armor. Here's why. So if you've ever heard my spiel on companion gear, this is bound to you. So this, you can buy treasure maps that are bound to you, but then you can sell the treasure. When it comes to companion light armor, though, here's why I don't like armor of light. So really, if you're using light armor, you're only making a DPS character, generally. Which means that you're only looking for like 1 or 2 traits, and then the odds of you getting that is just so slim. I really don't suggest those on this one. Books I never suggest. We've seen the Shattered Maze body a bajillion times. The mummy is actually kind of cool. Mummified off peak parts. It's kind of neat. Thank you for the subscription, Ren Forest. And then we never buy Tales of Tribute cards. For some reason, your guys' recent YouTube messages haven't come in, so let me read them here. What would you say is a good price for Etheric ciphers, Jake? I bought one on Xbox for $1 million gold to resell. I got one from an event box. So I would say a couple things. This is the time period where a lot of people are going to be getting those, and they're probably going to be selling them. And your best bet is probably to hold on to something like that for a decent bit of time, because this is the time period when a bunch of people are getting them, so it's going to be hot on the market. So for me, not something I would invest in right away. And Eric does point out a good point, too, that light armor is healers. I've just never been big on healers for companions either. I always feel like your companion should be a tank. Like, if you want a healer, just make him a tank, because there's this concept of, like, instead of you taking the damage and getting healed, they could just take the damage and then you don't need healed. I'm going to grab some water here really quickly and distract my cat for 2 seconds, but I'll be right back. Please don't all leave at once. I'll cry. Maybe, right. Oh, you want to be sitting up there? Come on. Yeah, I think tanks are the way to go. But this is how I always think economically, because it's one of those zones where we can look right at it. You don't have to break it down. So we need to go to our set collections, then go to DLC zones, Rothgar. So Briarheart is a really good PvP set that's generally recommended for beginners. Why is this recommended for beginners? Why is this good for PvP? Generally, do the 411. So, and you have this thing called Battle Spirit when you enter a PvP zone. Battle Spirit does is it takes away your ability to easily heal yourself. Thank you for the resubscription, Tier 1, Rambo. Thank you. And when you get something just like flat health, you just get that health back. So Battle Spirit lowers your health recovery. So things that increase your health recovery are affected by Battle Spirit, which is lowered. When you have something that just regenerates your health, you don't have to worry about the health recovery. So say this was 200 health recovery, you'd only really feel the effects of 100 health recovery. That's worse. Also, too, when you deal critical damage, your weapon and spell damage is increased by 409 for 10 seconds. Quite a bit, and the healing is really just the creme de la creme. When you think about classes that can do a lot of quick damage to people, you can actually regen a lot of health like that. Pariah is also good because it just makes you a beef tank. You'd be a little beefy boy. Until the other comments that haven't popped quite up yet on the stream yet. Let's scroll down there. Jake reaches #1 Tales of Tributes video series when? Well, that would be actually very easy because it would be Jake, the only person playing Tales of Tribute, infinite, takes the #1 spot immediately after he can't find anyone to queue against. Hey, Jake, don't go broke. Don't worry. We'll be safe. Hey, Jake, I second that. Don't go broke. Give up and be kind, but not everything. It's starting to lean more towards a tank healer. So, don't worry, we're not going to go broke. The other thing, too, is like ESO is a game. It's really easy to make gold. And I've always wanted to kind of showcase stuff because we used to pretty much only make gold type content. And a lot of the times I would struggle with, because I feel like it's one thing for me to say, like, go out, farm this, look at this, do this. It's another thing to see like an hour-long stream. Like, if you're really wanting to replicate something, it's so much easier just to be like, well, here it is, start to finish, There's no like, oh, well, like, cut that out of the video, or, you didn't showcase your thinking. All of the ramblings, the tangents, how I read the market and everything will all be front and center for you to peruse, because it will all be there. So that's where I kind of like the concept of like remaking everything as I go. Now, I mean, we don't have to like give away everything. I mean, I can always throw it in the bank too. So it doesn't have to be like an all or nothing type thing. But conceptually, I like the idea of just showing people the entire process. All the tangents, all the internal thinking. Just when stuff like, I see Rothgar treasure maps, my mind immediately goes to, yes, those sets have been out for a while, but we're going to have a new Q4 update. We might have another 2 to 4 million players excited about ESO this year. Factor that in. You factor in a new PvP zone. Factor in, the fact that, this has to be dropped from a very specific way with no world events. That's how I start to think. That's how I then start to kind of, formulate video ideas and ideas to share with you guys when I make vendor reviews or, whatever type of content that I'm making. I really do need the cat cam, because every time she starts to look like she wants to knock stuff over, that's when I hit her with the laser pointer, and then get her to start running as far away as possible and do a couple laps to try to tuck her out. I have like an automated machine too that's like, there's those little things that like you dangle them, and then there's like a little like a fishing line type thing where you can like catch your cat. I have one of those. It's like an automated thing, and she doesn't even go for it. She just consistently uses mine. Like she'll wait for me to hold the toy and dangle it before she like actually is interested in it. Drives me insane. Hey Jake, sorry if I missed it. Was wondering the value of Etheric cipher. So the best answer to that is they're going to be selling for a lot less than what they're worth right now. So you have two options. You can either try to sell it right now just to make money, just because, money's neat. You can sell it later. I would say that right now you are looking at a 20 to 30% pay decrease based on how much it's appearing on the market. So you could look at selling it in a month for about 20% more. And when I say 20%, what I would do is I would go to Mournhold. Is what I would do to answer your question, and we'll do it right here to see. Oh, wrong zone, wrong zone. Don't follow me. I'm in the wrong place. Good evening. How's it going? Confused? I'm also gonna reset my chat here because it, for some reason, is not popping up, and that's not ideal because it's nice to be able to read stuff. And there's my cat again. Now you can see how many times I have to re-record my videos because you jump, you knock down the microphone, you knock down stuff. Good luck with the stream. I'm off to bed. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll whack this laser pointer over, see if I can get her to go do some more playing. This is what it's like fighting with a cat all day to get her to play when she just wants to sit down on top of your streaming equipment. Last one I sold for 680K that was average a few months ago. It will always ebb and flow too, based on, this is where it really comes into play, is my ability to spell Etheric. Oh, wait. There's the ambrosia. Thank you, Yubel Kid. If I said that correctly, please don't kill me if I said it wrong. None listed? That's kind of crazy. None listed. I'll have to keep perusing around here. What do we got? We got one for 2.5 mil, 20 days listed. What do we got in Vixen's Valor? We got anything going here? 1.25 million, no sales. 1.25 million seems like a pretty fair price, though, for one of these. 980,000. That seems like they're trying to undercut to try to get a recent sale. This was listed today. I could see this being sold for 980K. But this is also an event where these things become much more prevalent. I'm also glad I said your name correctly, which is why I'm just going to refer to you as that, so I don't have to say it again, because I'm scared now I'll say it wrong. Yeah, I would say about $1 million if you wanted to sell it now, or if you wanted to hold on to it, you'd probably get like 1.2, 1.4 for it. I got one on the box from a box and bought one for 1 mil. Was looking to resell later once the value goes back up. I mean, the other thing too is like even if it goes up, 250,000, still 250,000 profit. We might look at that as it's just 20%, but 20% of $1 million gold is still a decent chunk of money. I really hope they add crossplay and cross saves at some point. I want to play on PC with my account for PlayStation so much. There's quite a few problems that they have to balance with this. The biggest problem, and you're hitting it on the head, I see a lot of them going from 1 to 1.5. The economy on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC are so vastly different. 1 million gold on PC will not even fully upgrade a character to gold, essentially. Like, if you wanted to gold out all of your armor, you can't even afford doing that. On PC, or here, on Xbox, you could do that exceptionally cheaply. And that's the biggest problem, is the gold valuation is so different that basically every console player would start off broke. Like, we would all have to go and, start from scratch essentially. And if you're on Xbox and A and you want a little chunk of change, just come find me. I'm in Moorhold right now. People will undercut each other a lot at the end to get a quicker sale. Here's the thing with that a lot of people don't realize. And thank you for the tier 1 resubscription. Suck that fart. Thank you for making me say that. What was I saying? So if you want to find gold, come find me. But here's the thing about undercutting each other that people forget. Undercutting requires you to still leave an item up for 30 days, and generally after 30 days, people don't always relist items, which is why, an event truly ends 30 days after the listings end for its event pages, because that's when the whole economy of them changes. Because you've got a lot of people who are going to, have them off the market. They're going to put them away. They might bind them to their book. They might not be a guild trader anymore. All these different things could be happening, and you won't see as much undercutting 30 days after an event ends. Sometimes as much as 2 months, depending on what it is. But think about like the Bewitched Sugar Skulls during Halloween, for example. I mean, those are on the market, they flood the market, and then they go back up to being exceptionally valuable, even though they've been around since the beginning of the game. So it really will just depend on like what's the desire for that item. And I think this is going to be one that has a decent desire. I'm also curious with it. Is the template customizable? I haven't played in 2 years, never like pressing left on the D-pad. But the delay on holding Y kept me away from that. I am not sure. There was different templates. I actually just what I do is I go to my controller settings and I just tweak it in here. Look, it's all in here. Alright, you just go to where's controller and headsets, and then you can just tweak it in here. Oh god, it's updating. I'm gonna break my break my stream before it even starts. Ah, my cat knocked over the laser pointer. Knock that over. Then you can configure the different settings here. So I have mine that the right thumbstick is the new bar swap. By the way, is my 100% recommendation for you. Please bar swap with your right thumbstick. You will save so much time not dying to stupid things. How do I get your personality? This was a personality that was given away. I want to say it was given away during like a Northern Elsewhere celebration event, but now it's just like a random crown store item. Ironically, the real reason I use it is because I don't see anybody else using it. Like, ESO's got so many personalities, and I wanted to try to stand out, a little bit. Have a little bit of a little standout in the crowd. That way people could see me a little easier. My persona, I guess, would be more recognizable. That's why I picked this one over like, some of the other more generic ones. I'm curious. So like if you saw like every Elder Scrolls Online creator's character, do you guys think that mine's like fairly recognizable? Thanks for the info. It really helps, of course. Thanks for stopping by. And yes, you are on the stream. I don't have my keyboard plugged into my Xbox. It's plugged into my computer. My cat's back. This is the balance that I have to do all day. Send the laser pointer over there. Just keep running around, just doing some swirls. Distracted. She knocked over the remote. And also it gives you a little bit of light too, The jet lag was pretty terrible. I shouldn't say that. The jet lag didn't really affect me. This is what happened. So I get there the day one. It was actually fairly fine. Took a nap, went to sleep at night. It was fine. Going back, there was problems, but like during one of the random days of the week, I had a problem because my friend called me at 4 a.m. So I woke up at 4 a.m. and then for some reason it was like, "You're wide awake," and I was like, "Whoa, I'm wide awake." And I stayed wide awake, and then I got really tired, and then went back to sleep, and then I took like a 3-hour nap in the morning, and that kind of messed me up a little bit. But the other thing that kind of screwed with me a little bit too is when I was flying back to the U.S. is I slept in the middle aisle, or the end seat, I should say, and I kept like leaning out when I would fall asleep, and then people just would like whack me, walking through to go to the bathroom, just like, like a linebacker, so I would just jolt awake every 30 minutes. So my sleep, what would have been my like overnight sleeping time, was just be getting smacked awake, by Jason Kelsey, unfortunately. But I mean, can't complain. Hope your sleep schedule gets back on track. Don't worry about me. I feel bad even complaining about it, because it's like, oh, Jake, you got flown out to Amsterdam by the ESO developer team. You're gonna tell me that you lost a little sleepy time, my coworkers who just spent a week of work, not off, It's like, I feel a little bad. But to be fair, I really don't take that many vacation days very often. In fact, last year I think I used like 5 vacation days, and then ended up cashing out like 150 hours of PTO because it's just, that's fair. I could complain too. I always just try to put everything in perspective. I don't ever want to seem like I'm not grateful for something just because flying can be annoying sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't ever want it to be like I don't ever just feel like entitled because of something, I just feel like it's just stay grounded to where you came from, and you'll be good to go. Worked hard for this vacation. That is true, More so, I just never take vacations. So when you request vacations, when you never take them, they're just like, "What are you doing?" And you're just like, "Oh, just you guys just don't just go to Amsterdam, every so often. You guys just don't fly there on a whim." Oh. Explain to your 45-year-old supervisor why you're going to Amsterdam. You're like, "Oh, It's for the hookers. It's for the red light district. Good to see you on ESO. I usually see you on Ark. That is true. Ark is a depressing game that will eat up your life, and then you have to sit and play it the whole time. It also feels like I'm holding like an e-cigarette. I'm holding a laser pointer. Please don't worry. I've not picked up any bad habits. I used to know the market fairly well, but stepped away from ESO for a couple of years, and since then it's become vastly different. Or step back, it's vastly different. AK is always great on the way there. Going home never is good. That is true. It's also like you're going back to work, you know? Like, who's like, woo, you know? On the way back to work, you're just like, ugh, I gotta work tomorrow. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. In the ESO market, it is different, but don't think of it as too different because the general trends are the same. Just think about, like, this is the easiest thing to think about, right? When you're thinking about what to sell, a couple things to remember. This vendor right in front of me only has at maximum 500 active members, right? The 500 members means 30 listings each. So there's only at maximum that amount of items being listed on this trader. All the other traders are more home. Your goal is kind of one of a few things. You can either A, find sets that are really good that nobody's selling, and this will happen all the time because it's luck of the draw. You know, there's only so many listings that can be here that if you find a really good set that's being suggested by somebody, you're probably going to make a good chunk of change because you're going to be the only listing for it. Second thing you can do is just think about general trends, like, hey, a lot of players are going to be doing double XP. Perhaps they want to have XP potions. So perhaps I could sell them XP potions. I mean, that's like a 1,000-foot overview, but it's very simplistic. Then you think about other stuff that could be going on, like dungeon events. Like perhaps people who are doing dungeons events want more dungeon potions. Maybe they're looking for starter sets that would allow for them to farm dungeons. You know what I mean? You know, there's all different things, you know, going on. Look, there's Pug King in the distance. I wonder if he's here on the stream at the minute. Look at him just over there in the little distance, the little rapscallion. But you can think about the economy generally or very specifically or from a few different angles. I always try to think both, you know, like go look and see what's missing. You know, there was one time where I looked and there was like 10 perfect row the entirety of Mournhold. If you fished that week for some reason, you were just gonna make it rich, but that's not how it always goes. That's why it's kind of hard to explain the economy to people in ESO because it's so decentralized. It feels centralized because it's like right here, but it's also there's no grand exchange. There's no every player lists all your items here, you know. And no, not yet, Dr. Deals. Probably not on this stream, although I do actually need to go complete the cake events. I'm gonna do that here while we're chit chatting. But I've been using my offhand to distract my cat, who's now back, to cause mayhem and chaos. Hopefully we get something good. Ooh, gosh. At least it is 11:16 and I am slightly tired because that is a sign that I will sleep on time. Because, ooh, let me tell you, being back on a normal sleep schedule will be amazing. Also, sleeping in your own bed just feels great. Although yesterday, my cat did not want me to sleep. She was just constantly just whacking me in the face with her head, just bam, 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 bam. Like, are you gonna get up? Are you gonna play? Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do that? And it's like, no, I'm so sorry. Going the right direction? It is over here, yeah. Oh, we'll do this here. She really does want Jake time. I gave her my parents, you know. You know, they're people. You know, they played with her. It was not the same apparently. One time, they played one of my YouTube videos to get her to run out of the room. And like come sit with them because they played my videos, which I thought was kind of funny. It's very true though. When I left Gold Mats, they were going for 20 to 30k each. Now they're under 10k. It will always depend and ebb and flow on the economy. Gold Mats is one that probably fluctuates the most. A couple reasons. One, bots. I mean, you know, that's just the way that it is. Like, the bots farm these things, and because of that, the bots, they like to profit and, launder money. Other thing too is ESO is not a game where you need to update your sets to gold very often. Realistically, you can use sets that have been out for years and still be very competent in most content, so you don't have a whole lot of people constantly feeling the need to upgrade their sets very often, and I don't blame them, because there's not a whole a lot of reason to, because ESO is kind of made to be a game of calm chillness, a game of like, oh well, if you want to play an MMO and get that MMO experience, you can have it pretty calm, pretty nice and easy, Oh, is this one of you guys? Festival Mint. Here you are, sir. Your $500,000 gold for finding me. And then there is the Jubilee Cake. We're going to activate this bad mamma jamma, and we are going to get ourselves our... You said, Meg says, went out of town and came back Saturday, and my cat wouldn't leave my side. It was like she was afraid I'd leave again. But speak of economics, more wind joust increased a lot. I feel for the people listing them for a million, because it's not worth it anymore. Yeah, having a central marketplace would definitely help keep prices closer together. I think it would also hurt the economy in a lot of ways too. Oh, there's Jeremiah. He found me. I think it would help and it would hurt in a lot of ways. I don't know if it would be better or worse though. I don't know if they actually changed the Morrowind House banner, honestly, or if it was just that people that wanted it, never got it when they wanted it, and then just bought it for a lot. Because I don't think that they changed the rates for it, but I do definitely think that more people got it, because when I made the video, I'm actually curious how many people watched that video. Hang on. I feel like I single-handedly destroyed that item. That pops up here. And I feel bad, because it was exceptionally hard to get, Alright, let's see. What did this video get in views? This got 8.2 thousand. It's actually not a crazy amount when it comes to total views, for something that crazy. But I mean, even if like 1,000 people farmed it, they changed the rate. Did they actually confirm it? They did that? Because I don't remember seeing that. Granted, I haven't gone through every patch notes page, but now it feels silly. I just feel like I should make an updated video. How I devalued one of the most valuable items in the game. Because so many people farmed it after that video too. Just because they farmed it. Which I wonder if I can get it to pull up on my screen. I want you guys to see what I see. Because it's just so funny. Like throughout the years of doing stuff. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I almost turned off my webcam. Wrong thing. Oh... Goes capture. Where is it? Not popping up. Alright, hang on. Hold on. Alright, chat box, you're gonna have to sit away for a minute, because for some reason that scene's not working like it's supposed to. Look at this. Look at this webcam placement. My stuff off. Look at this. Oh, hang on, you can't look at it if I do that. Look at this. it's so. I mean, just looking at the webcam differences and how the angle is of everything, it's just so funny to see how different it is comparatively. 21-year-old chick. I'm 27 now. I wasn't like 21 years old 6 months ago. Although it does kind of look like I'm significantly younger in this video for some reason. And we'll go back to the live scene now. There we go. Never had more than 200,000 gold at once. Need to start selling on the market. Well, I mean, the thing too with the ESO gold is I have a friend named David. David has like 2 million gold. And the reason that David has 2 million gold is because he never buys anything, because he grinds everything he needs. If he needs something, you know, then he's gonna go just get it. Oh, here, I'm sorry, Brown Bear. Did you already trade with me? I'm sorry about that. This is when Brown Bear is like, you have traded with me, but I'll take another 500,000. You know, no hard feelings. Worst thing, I think it would be the possibility of things going down considerably in value, but I think it would keep people from way overcharging. The problem that I have with it too is that bots would be able to use it, and then if bots can use it, they can more easily undercut the market for items that new players get. So one of the things that the developers will look at is like how many people and what are they selling. So what are new game players doing for gold? And then, you know, what are they doing then to kind of be involved in the economy? Essentially, bots take that from them. And the problem is that bots are basically impossible to stop because you can't IP ban them because that has to be done through Microsoft, and they have to do something like pretty gregarious to have that happen. And they're probably using, you know, ways where they would not be pulled in that way because they're probably emulating their Xbox anyway. And they're just going to keep doing it. So it just becomes so crazy when it comes to just trying to stop bots. So that's my fear with the Grand Exchange, is it would downcut a lot of things, but it would really take away new players' ability to farm. Is my fear with it. Because, like, in theory, one of the best farming methods you could do as a brand new player is just slap on some speed gear and just go pick up stuff in, like, couple different zones, you know, that have good stuff in them. Like pick up Nerncruxes and, you know, pick up ores and stuff and Craglorn and get all those juicy items, and you'll be able to make a little chunk of change like that. So for me, that's where I just become worried about a Grand Exchange. Also, it makes it more difficult for people who want to make a lot of money selling because, you know, your ability to find gaps in the market now is going to be tricky because everybody's going to be doing it. Did I get my event tickets, by the way? Was I gypped? Did I get my event tickets? 4 out of 12. Did I have 4 out of 12? Thanks for getting up for your videos, and 1 ESO player. Oh, sorry, it's like very small. Thanks for your 1 ESO helped me so much. No problem. Brown. And feel free to use the gold however you want. It's all a loan. 10% daily interest. Be coming down. If you don't return it within a week, I challenge you to a Trails of Tribute match every day until you pay me back. And only if you win do you get to truly keep it. Thanks, Ben, for hopping on stream. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you later. STF, if I call you that. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay on. Probably about another, I'll hop off at 11:45, so that's like 19 minutes. I'll keep chit-chatting with you guys for 19 more minutes. Tomorrow, we'll start doing some grinding, doing some gold making. That way we can start doing some tallies. But also, too, we have the Tuesday vendor tomorrow, so that will be a dedicated video. I'm going to be setting up my stream schedule. Also, now that I'm back in America, I will officially post the winners of the giveaway drawing when I make my dedicated video tomorrow as well. Because I always want to make sure that I post that information, because I never want it to be like, well, who won? Left all these comments. What did I get for it? You know, so I always want to make sure that everybody gets to see who wins. That way they don't think that, you know, we're doing Rice Gum or something, whoever those people are that offer iPhone giveaways all the time. To be fair, if you win, please don't expect an iPhone. Realistically, it ranges from like $20 to $40 in value per person. It just depends on how much ad revenue we did, how many Raid Shadow Legends subscriptions we were able to get, Raid Shadow Legends sponsorships. We'll tweak the numbers a bit slightly. Hey Jake, longtime fan for the Land Down Under. Always love your content. Thank you, Craig. Are the fire logs from Autumn's Gatewood good to sell, and how much you think? So, those types of items, stuff that goes into things like combinables is what I refer to them as. It really depends. If you ever want to know how much if an item is selling well, my number one rule of thumb is if you see, like, say you were just like, boom, just gonna go here, go to the history, and then I'm just going to look at purchases. You can see everything that's selling, and you take this information and you roll with it. So, like, you take this information and then you can see, look at, for example, look at how many perfect rows are selling. This sold from us 30,000 gold. Last year, there was perfect row selling for 12,000 gold. Can I please make more ESO tier lists? I sure can. You're gonna have to tell me what tier list you want, because no. I'm not the best at tier lists. I've been playing since launch, so it's been some time since I was new. Yeah, it's a lot of different stuff and things. When it comes down to value, when it comes down to grand exchanges, ESO. The other really nice thing about ESOs, guild traders, that is not talked about enough, is that guild traders also remove money from the economy. So let's just say the average guild trader in Mournhold on Xbox and A costs 20 million gold. Essentially, that's 20 million gold that's burned out of the economy. So what that does is it keeps the actual economy from becoming hyperinflated. I mean, look at RuneScape's economy. There's crazy amounts of people there who are, multi-billionaires. A billion gold on RuneScape's not even a lot. And back in the day, it was a considerable amount of money. So that's where it can be something that the developers need to balance as well, is you're going to have to remove gold from the economy somehow. Because if not, you're going to have hyperinflation of Bulgarian proportions. What houses make good fully stocked guild halls tier list? That is very, very specific. Honestly, the answer I would say to that is any that are just very open and flat. Fortunately, feel like the one you see the most now with the changes to other things like being able to move all the sets into one item or one station. I think that's pretty big, because now you don't have to have these big long areas out. And I do apologize, my cat is distracting me trying to keep her on the laser pointer. Oh, did you finally come up to me? I'm not even looking at you. This person's higher level than me. If you want some gold, though, feel free. Anyone's welcome to trade me. I feel like I missed a message. One for trials and bosses, like a dungeon tier list, like based on funness and stuff. An Xbox Vet Guild Traders 40. But yeah, I'm just throwing out a number too, like all of the numbers and stuff. If I really released how much guild traders went for, I'd find myself in a lot of trouble. Like I would, I'd probably get yelled at by some people. Even if I made a dedicated video on, just like how to buy a Xbox guild. Oh, I just clicked out of it. That's my bad. Even if I just made a dedicated video to like, here's how to buy a guild trader, I probably would get some like, what are you doing there, Jake? I'd be like, nothing. I'm not doing anything. I respect a lot of the main guild trader owners, because they have to do a lot of grinding. They have to do a lot of selling. They have to do a lot of internal management. No problem. They just have to do so much stuff to maintain those types of guilds, and it's crazy the amount of stuff that they have to put in each week for those. I have a nice guild hall in Seville? Seville? Yeah, which house that actually is. I think with the new crafting station changes, though, you can almost use any house. Like, why not? You can just put it anywhere, like you could have it, if you could fit the Mundus stones in there, you could fit a dummy in there, and you could fit a crafting station in there. You can pretty much put it in anything. It's not the Rosy Lions. tables and the trial dummies are definitely some of the more intricate pieces. The nice thing though is that if you have a good guild hall, you can use it for multiple guilds. Like anyone can use it. I mean, houses are really slept on when it comes to utility, and it's funny. So one of the content creators that I was there in Amsterdam with, he didn't really play ESO. Like he's very new. He's more of like a Bethesda content creator, and he actually loaded up ESO, and I was like teaching him how to go through stuff. And you never really appreciate how much information that you just know. That's just like that read like for example, perfect example. If you wanted a Mundus stone, 99% of you would just be able to just go find a Mundus stone in somebody's house or something like that. I mean, he's over here looking up how to find them in the overworld, Like, people are looking up information like that, and, it's information that we know that we can just go to people's guild halls. How's it going, Hexapug? And this is Elder Scrolls Online. More of just a sitting and talking type stuff from that. This is really just talking about the Amsterdam trip, 10-year celebration, giving away some gold, and stuff like that. Then, rent out feel free to rent out the guild halls, too. It'd be a good moneymaker. Wonder if I could try something like that. Messages was, for now. Sorry, Phantom, you're, made it pop up. YouTube has very strict live stream and commenting guides for swearing occasionally. It will make it message not pop up, and I have to manually approve it. So if any of your messages don't pop up in the live stream chat, I just might have missed it unblocking it, but you generally unblock pretty much all of them. Because, too, I actually like to see what you say, But thank you for stopping in and saying what's up. Some guilds will pay millions a week for access to a guild hall that's fully stocked with tables, dummies, and all the assistance tooling you're getting for testing sets. It's true. The average cost to make a guild hall is probably close to I don't even know if I want to guess, 80, 90 million on Xbox. That's a lot. I mean, it's all good. No worries, man. How's it going? Those of you found me in person. I spoke to my guild master about the cost of traders. We're always in Vex City. It's very expensive, literally in the millions. And it is. And you are not going to make that money with guild sales. So a lot of people are under the assumption that trading guilds will make money through sales that will offset the cost of them having a guild trader. And that's almost never true. And I'll tell you why. It actually boils down to a real life example. And for those of you who are familiar with Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, and all of those, you'll know that they're all operating at a consistent loss. And that's because they consistently want the competitors to go broke. What's funny is that they all want the competitors to go broke, but they're always at risk of themselves going broke. And the guild traders are a perfect example of that personified into the in-game economy, because if I have a guild trader, I have endless competition from everybody else who wants to be in those guild trader spots, right? So for that reason, you're in this weird, where you're raising a lot of money, but you're losing even more money. Because everybody else is waiting to risk it to try to get into your spot. Is the amount of money that they can get just for being in that spot versus another one is decent. They can charge more in dues, like weekly dues, which also, by the way, do not offset the cost of bids. And, all these other things that they try to do, raffles, golds, 50-50 splits and whatnot. And they really had to put in a lot of work to maintain those spots. I mean, they've got tens of hundreds of millions of gold in reserves just to try to somewhat keep those spots. Because the other thing too is if you're in a really good trader spot and then you get nowhere where you're SOL, so you're always trying to stay above and without other competition. It's a hard balance. I don't envy any of the people that do it, and I have a lot of respect for them. And you give a great breakdown. 2 Xbox and A sets of tunables is 800K for a set. And then 4 of those times 77 plus the Mundus Stone, plus the transmute station, plus all the other bits and bobs and odds and ends that go into that. I mean, you're losing a lot of money, and it can be expensive. We got 7 more minutes left here, so ask those questions. You get a set for 600K now. I mean, it will fluctuate, obviously. So generally, when new sets are released, it goes up. When there's not as many new sets and people are farming for gold, it will go down. It's just one of those things that kind of fluctuates quite a bit. Especially because we did have that RIT voucher event recently. And we actually are steadily gaining in concurrent viewers. We're at 49 on YouTube right now. I can't see how many we have on Twitch at the minute, but it's good numbers. We guys should set up like dedicated stream times to give you guys times to drop in and out. Be nice to have consistent times for people. Bit of a chaotic week, but it's fun to talk to you guys versus doing other more draining type stuff. I appreciate it. But we got 6 minutes left. What other questions, ideas, comments, things, questions, concerns, ideas have? Yeah, I think a guild house on Xbox averages out to about 90 mil these days with a good Crown Store hookup. Yeah, wouldn't surprise you. Back in the day, it was like 60 mil was like the cheapest that people could get. And that's when there was less sets. People weren't selling RITs as much, as they are now. The RITs market has changed, significantly. And all these other changes. Got to distract the cat again. I'm trying to get her to go up on the bed. That way maybe she'll be like, oh, while I'm up here, might as well take a nap, I'm never quite that lucky. Not working. She's staring at me. She's not even looking at the laser pointer. I'm trying to get her to go up into the bed, in her spot. It's not working. She sees right through it. They had 6 event tickets at day 1 ended and started another. That was actually really smart. I think I saw your comment about that. I didn't even think about that because at one point I had mentioned events end at 10 a.m. and then start at 10 a.m. So you can if you log in before that time period, you can actually get a decent little bit for yourself there. There you are, sir. Take that onward. You get to see much of Amsterdam. It was actually a decent chunk of the city. We did a lot of walking downtown and whatnot. We're able to see little odds and ends. The only thing that kind of sucks about Amsterdam is it's not open very early or open very late. So you're not really able to go see a lot of touristy type stuff. Because all that stuff seems to close relatively early, and pretty much every day we were there was just jam-packed with ESO activities, which is good because obviously I like when calendars are filled, I like be going from thing to thing to thing. Really good. I do have a question though. If you could convert it to Eastern Standard Time, your answers, I'd appreciate you greatly. But if I was to stream Wednesday and then, so I'm thinking either Monday, Wednesday, Thursday to stream because Friday's the Golden Vendor video, Tuesday's the other vendor. I was there from Tuesday through Sunday. Well, technically it was Wednesday morning through Sunday. But if I was to stream on a weekday, what times would be best? Because I was thinking 7 to 9 p.m. Consistently trying to set up a 2-hour block 3 days a week. Scrubbing. Oh, you mean scribing for Joy Girl 1. I was scrubbing video explained. What? I was I just use dishwasher, man. And if it doesn't work in the first run through, just run it back. If the dishes aren't clean after one run because something's stuck on there, just run that thing again. But yes, I will do a scribing explained video. And the other thing too is that's nice is it's if I give myself 2-hour blocks for ESO content throughout the week, and I'll start posting the stream times on the actual videos themselves. So there's like a bit of an overlay that you guys can read. Then it'll have like the actual times and stuff for you guys. Because I want to try to be consistent with streaming. It's fun-er, I guess, because it's like it's nice to post a video and see the comments, but that's all retroactive. I'll extract it real quick. Hang on. Come on, see the laser pointer. Go back to the other room. Go play with it over there. Well, shoot, what was I saying? Now she's staring at me. She knows. She knows it's turned off. It's fun because, like, yeah, you can post a video, but, like, you know, the comments are going to slowly trickle in, you know, you got to wait for all the little things to pop in and thing. Yeah, I have seen people do the Craglorn Rift box run. The only thing I don't like about Craglorn as much is I like about Bankrai is I like the sets from Bankrai a little bit more. And it's also easier to see. Like sometimes Craglorn can just feel confusing at times, but yeah, Craglorn is definitely a really good zone to do event boxes in. What do you think the most expensive item in the game on average is and how much? That is a really good question. The most expensive item on the game is probably, I always forget its name, and somebody can tell me if they know it off the top of their heads. It's the monster set helmet that makes you look like the mouth of Sauron. I, for the life of me, cannot remember which style it is. Is it Zenthar's? I think it's Zenthar. If you have the Zenthar helmet, it makes you kind of look like the mouth of Sauron, and it's worth like tens of hundreds of millions of gold, depending on if you're on console versus PC. The reason is that it's only, thank you, Baron Zaldaris, and I think it's Zenthar from, I don't know. The reason though is that monster set style pages are not available year round. So like, you kill a boss, right? And, you know, of a dungeon. Well, every single dungeon boss, sorry, now I'm like turning my whole body, commit to this laser pointer thing. The whole point of these monster sets style pages is that for limited time, during different parts of the year, you can farm that dungeon to get a chance to get a style page that mimics the style of the final boss. So if the final boss helmet, you know, looks a specific way, you can do that. I'll give you an example. I feel like I'm explaining this a little loosey-goosey here because of how my brain is. So this is the Zaan's mask, right? This style exists in the game, but you can only farm it limited time throughout the year when Zaan's is highlighted as an area you can go farm the style page. And then generally I try to highlight that in my monthly video guides to say like, hey fellas, you know, from this date to this date, you can farm this dungeon and get this, you know, specific monster set style. So you're going to want to go get it. Because if not, you know, it's going to cost you a lot. Like City of Ash is another really good example of this. City of Ash monster set mask looks incredible. So when it's highlighted as being the dungeon to farm, for the monster set style, make quite a bit of gold just by doing it, even though it's an easy dungeon. Basically, all you need to do is just complete it on veteran. You have a chance to get the style page. And if you have the achievement for the hard mode clear, bumps up those odds even more. No, it's not the greatest of explanations, a little bit unscripted, a little loosey-goosey, but hope that makes sense. But the monster set style, that is probably the most valuable item in the game. I'm sure conceptually, potentially, there's an item out there, like a furnishing item that could potentially be worth more. You could also think about stuff that's not able to be sold anymore. Like, you know, for example, you cannot sell dungeon sets. You guys probably all know that, but you used to be able to sell dungeon sets, and dungeons farmed before a certain time period were actually able to be sold. So it's kind of like a collector's item if you have some of these. And there's also other, you know, early on stuff that could be sold, like old, you know, get some things, vouchers for different things that are old and valuable that probably don't have a whole lot of sales. It is the problem sometimes with the economy, is we rely on sales to determine the value of something. When if it's being sold through a guild trader, decent chance that you're not capturing all of it. If, for example, if something's going to be sold for like hundreds of millions of gold, the guy might not sell it in the guild trader. He might sell it in zone chat because that's a lot of fees. He's not going to want to pay taxes on that big bad boy item. So that's where it can become slightly skewed for different things. But overall, it's still a decent gauge. Azure Brazier, light furnishing drops from the Zahari Daily in very northern Gratwood, south of the northern Elsewhere Gate. I think that one's dropped pretty significantly in value too. I could be wrong, but that one used to be worth significantly more than it is now. I'm also going to turn on the ending soon thing. If these are you guys, by the way, next to me, let me know and I will still trade you, obviously. I don't want to jip any of you. Yeah, get the trades in. Like I said, there you go. Tersine. Oh. Link anking. Did I do that right? That's I think that's the rest of you. So for those of you who are able to find me, hope that was helpful. Everybody that finds me tomorrow wants to trade with me has got to beat me to tail as a tribute match. If you lose, you have to give me everything that you own. No pressure. If you win, you get 500,000 gold. So we'll kind of keep this series concept going. I'll probably do some event farming. Not exactly sure all the little bits and bobs and things that I want to kind of go over with you guys. So if you have suggestions, time frames, things that are it's better to stream during this hour versus this hour, please just let me know. I'm gonna probably continue some of the other series that we were doing just because I think they were super interesting and they got a lot of traction on the back end from like viewers. Like the beating ESO without attacking, revitalizing that series, getting that bad boy going again, and the stuck in Stros Mackay, we had to stop because crowns weren't being sold by anybody, so we were actually buying crown store items while being stuck inside of Stros Mackay, which is kind of funny. So I'm kind of want to pick back that series up again so we can see how far we can get. But other than that, thank you guys so much again for watching. As always, I read the comments. Check out the Discord. Thank you for those of you who are helping get a new Discord emblem. If you're any good at any sort of like creative design, please reach out to me on Discord because I'm always desperate for creative designers. So thank you guys so much again. I know I say it a lot, but I do mean it. So I say it all the time. So thank you. Catch you guys later. Have a good night. Hopefully none of you guys are jet lagged in the stream.